breaking news here.
What's that?
Carol has no idea who Oasis is.
What?
What?
Neither did Quinette, our senior producer. I don't know.
They were you in the mid-90s, guys.
I'll be on
I
any
don't
team
know
with Queenette.
where Carol was.
I even sang it in our
Wonderwall,
meeting today.
Champagne Supernova. I sang some
could
Wonderwall
you- wait,
earlier
all right, Tim
on air, and I never sing anything because was that
Tim
such a
hummed
loss?
a few bars. I have no idea what that was.
Oh
Alex,
my
can you
God,
hum a few-
Carol.
Can you
I-
believe this?
Come on. And I
Don't
grew
look
up
back
with-
in anger. Come on.
They were supposed to be bigger than the Beatles,
They
but
are
they
not
weren't. 'Cause
bigger than the Beatles.
Carol.
They're not bigger than the Beatles.
I'd never
on.
Come on
heard.
now.
Well, anytime you have to declare that you're going to be bigger than the Beatles, you're not going to be
Gallagher
bigger than the
brothers.
Beatles.
I mean, please. They're not bigger than the Beatles, but still.
What did the Beatles sing?
All the songs. I want to hold your hand. Okay. Anyway, this
Did they do
conversation.
that? Hey.
This conversation perfectly exemplifies what's happening in the market. Nothing.
Well done.
Absolutely
This is what I
nothing at
said.
the end of the day.
Would everybody just come back from their beach houses and vacation so that most red could be something different?
They will. They will tomorrow at 4:21 p.m.
And then they'll go away again.
All right. Well, you are seeing a lot of action today in the options market. That's not necessarily feeding through to the cash market in equities, as a lot of people are sitting on their hands right now till we get those big earnings, of course, out of none other than Nvidia tomorrow after the bell. As for today, you're looking at a market that's relatively unchanged. A Dow Jones Industrial Average up by about 10 points here. The S&P up by 9 points, or about 0.2%. The Nasdaq higher by the same amount on a percentage basis. And the Russell 2000, that's your primary laggard of the day, down about 15 points, or 0.7%.
All right, back to the S&P 500 I go. Kind of an even split, you guys. 242 names in the S&P 500 gaining ground. Scarlet, 259 to the downside, 2 unchanged.
Okay, the IMAP is really unexciting. You take a look
Shocking.
and, yeah, I know. There's green, then there's red. There's more green, admittedly, because tech is the best performer, up 0.6%, followed by financials and REITs. And then in terms of decliners, you have energy, because oil prices declined, Alex. Utilities lower by 0.75%, and consumer discretionary also lower by about 0.5%. Ho-hum.
Ho-hum is right. All right, so let's go to some of the individual gainers, if we may. Insulet, POTD, POD is the ticker. Stock up about 6.6%. Medical device company announced that their Omnipod 5 received FDA clearance for people with type 2 diabetes aged 18 years and older. Our own BI industry team and analysts saying that this clearance unlocks an additional 6 million U.S. patients, which is nearly a 4-fold gain. So you can understand maybe why investors are sitting up and taking notice. Another one kind of in this space, I feel like, ResMed, up more than 7%. It was the #1 gainer in the S&P 500 today, highest intraday since August of 2022. William Blair saying the breathing machine maker now views the GLP-1 weight loss drug impact to be a tailwind on its sleep apnea and CPAP business versus management's original view last year of a neutral impact. So that's kind of, I know, it's kind of a Netflix was a top gainer in the NASDAQ 100. Evercore ISI analyst Mark Mahaney coming out, raising the firm's price target to $750 from $710, keeping an outperform rating on the shares. They've done some channel checks, and they continue to see mid-single-digit percentage upside to the streets. Fiscal year 25 EPS, and with even further upside if Netflix returns to its historical price increase cadence. So that went up 1.2%. One last one for all you tea drinkers out there. Hain Celestial up almost 20% in today's session after the company's fiscal fourth quarter organic sales declined less than Wall Street had expected. Keep in mind the stock's still down more than 20% year to date. Still don't know who Oasis is.
Okay. So I can't help you there. I will.
You tried, Tim. You tried.
I tried. And she's an Apple Music person. I'm a Spotify person, so I can't send her even Spotify links. So yeah, we're having issues here.
We'll be doing some Googling tonight.
Supermicrocomputer is my decliner of 3, one of the 3, down 2.6% today. They fell after Hindenburg came out and said it's short SMCI. The stock fell as much as 8.7%. It did pair some of those losses just to close lower than 2%. Hindenburg did write that an investigation into the company revealed, quote, glaring accounting red flags, evidence of undisclosed related party transactions, sanctions and export control failures, and customer issues. A spokesperson for Supermicro said the company, quote, does not comment on rumors and speculation. And Kava Group, I was doing gainers while Carol was gone Friday and Monday. Kava was on my list of gainers those days. Now it's on my list of decliners, down 6%. It did fall as much as 9.5% after the company's largest individual shareholder and a group of executives filed to sell shares. Ended up closing down by just about 6%. and Hims and Hers Health. It's the telehealth platform. It fell today by 7.5%. Remember, the company's been selling compounded semaglutide to treat obesity, but shares fell after Lilly came out and said self-pay patients could now buy these single-dose vials of its own weight loss drug, Zepbound.
All right, taking a look at the bond market, guys. Yes, okay, kind of a snoozer, but we had a 2-year auction of $69 billion and actually went pretty well. There was some strong indirect bidding, and you see a little bit of a bid into the bond market, and the 2-year yield's down by 3 basis points. And we do get supply, guys, over the next couple days. We get the 5-year tomorrow, $70 billion, and the 7-year on Thursday, $44 billion. So this could actually move some stuff.
All right, speaking of moving, we talk about a lot of the financial types heading to Florida, the Miami area, and so on. Well, it seems like soccer continuing to build out its hub in a big way, expanding kind of their FIFA presence, and that includes the president, Tim.
Yeah, headed to Miami. They're gearing up for the 2026 World Cup. It's going to include matches in Miami, but also 15 other cities in the U.S., Mexico, and Canada. Their footprint expands and bolsters Miami's standing as a global soccer hub. Of course, we can't talk about this without talking about superstar Lionel Messi, who led Argentina to victory in the 2022 tournament.
And there he is in his best-selling pink jersey as well. Yeah, that may be the case, but Miami needs to do a better job with managing game day. Remember what happened when Colombia played, I forget which team, but it was kind of a disaster with all these people trying to rush the stadium, and it delayed the game for the Latin America World Cup.
All right, Nordstrom's out with earnings. Just taking a look at adjusted earnings per share. A nice beat there at 96 cents. Also, their full-year adjusted outlook also to the high end. At the most, they see about $2.05, and the low end, $1.75. And also, their total revenue for the second quarter also pretty strong, $3.89 billion. The anniversary sale was what everyone was really watching here for Nordstrom sales.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, too. We talk about a 3.4% jump in sales, but as always, a lot of that growth is coming from the Nordstrom Rack brand. So you did have a beat on net sales there. The Nordstrom brand itself, the flagship brand, the revenue there, while higher, coming in below what the street was looking for.
Yeah, interesting. This is one that's really shown some outperformance this year, up about 15%, though, as they go through some of their changes, and you're seeing it build on that, up about 1.7%. But we'll see what it says in terms of tone about consumer going forward. I'm curious to see what they say in terms of commentary on the call.
Yeah, Alex, you mentioned the anniversary sale. They said that the one day that fell in the third quarter, the top growing categories were beauty, active, and home at that anniversary sale. Eric Nordstrom also said that they're confident in the outlook for the remainder of the year and look forward to sustaining the momentum we built as we execute our 2024 priorities. Active, women's apparel, beauty, and kids had the strongest growth versus last year.
Do these results quiet all the talk about maybe the family taking Nordstrom private again, or someone else coming in and buying Nordstrom? Because fact of the matter is, young people do not go to department stores. We all know what the Nordstrom anniversary sale is, but try as they might, even on TikTok, it's not necessarily gaining a lot of traction.
But I gotta say, for Nordstrom Rack, though, I mean, those places are packed. Have you guys been? And net sales there increased over 8%. Comp sales were up by about 4.1%. So I hear you that the anniversary sale is super important, et cetera, but their Nordstrom Rack is really crushing it also.
Yeah, absolutely. Here, I was kind of, we're going to keep an eye here on those numbers here as Nordstrom shares continue to move higher in after hours trading. There was a story that I was keeping an eye on, and this involved Pizza Hut. A bit of a gimmick here, but they've actually created, and I don't know if we have a picture of this, a pizza box that actually converts into a coffee table. I mean, this is basically some Cosmo Kramer type stuff going on here. Basically, they're basically saying, look, when you move into a new place, what do? You order pizza, but you got no furniture, right? Everything's still packed up, everything's in boxes. So why not have the pizza box double as a coffee table?
Can I keep it for a few days?
I think you can keep it forever, Tim, and you put it right in front of your TV set, and you can watch all the Oasis videos that you want.
Can I get eggplant on the top of it? That's all I want to know.
Yeah, but doesn't the oil come and seep through the box?
That's what I was thinking.
A topping.
Alex, the cardboard kind of gets ruined after the pizza's delivered, right?
Yeah, and then it collapses, the oil's gross. You know what I'm talking about?
All true. All good points.
Then you can compost it.
It's like going back to college.
Maybe that's what it's for.
Just saying.
Which was kind of during Oasis, right?
But you know what? If you read the press release until the very end, it's only available in the most popular U.S. cities to move to: Dallas, Charlotte, and Orlando. So it's not available to us in New York, unfortunately.
Well, there's no room for these coffee
Well,
tables
I mean,
in
who
New
eats
York
Pizza
anyway.
Hut in New York?
I can't wait
Good
for all the
point.
Instagram pictures of people in their homes with their Pizza Hut.
I'm sure that's what
By
they're
the way,
thinking
before
of
you
when
say
they
goodbye,
watch
Carol, and I know you like long goodbyes, I just want to point out Oasis has sold more than 70 million albums. According to Wikipedia, it's probably the most influential British rock band since, guess who? The Beatles.
I don't know.
I even saw them.
There you have it.
She doesn't buy
I saw
it.
an Oasis concert in 2000.
This is why they broke up,
I'm
Carol, because of
probably
you.
going to own a Pizza Hut table before I own one of their albums. No, I
No,
don't.
you don't have to own an album. Just recognize one of their songs. That's what we're going to work on.
All right, I'm going to go home.
I'm coming over to your desk after
this,
this,
I'm
Carol.
going to go home and I'm going to listen to a song. I'm like, oh my God, I love that song.
Yes,
Right.
that will
Yes.
absolutely happen.
Ciao, Bellas.